Welcome aboard, everybody. It is Monday, and you are in the show, man. It's Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steen, lead handicapper at winnersandwiners.com.
I'm your co-host, Scott Rochelle, senior handicapper over winnersandwiners.com.
And together we do this every single day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Scott, I believe J.C. Stone sums up the weekend for a lot of people. J.C. Stone says, my bracket needs hugs. Oh man, mine needs the old Yeller treatment. Need to have Lenny looking at the rabbits, man. That's it's not good, buddy. Somebody needs to put my bracket out of its misery. How's your bracket doing, buddy?
It's doing pretty well. Of course, my bracket was a long shot bracket, so I got UCLA winning the whole thing. Do I think they're actually going to? Not really, but I was expecting Armageddon. Thought I'd pick a team that a lot of people wouldn't have that I thought had a shot anyway. So far, so good. I really can't complain too much. Tennessee losing to Michigan wasn't ideal, but I still have 3 of my 4 Final Four teams, so it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, very good. What's up, T-Train? Tony in the house. Good to see you, buddy. And nice you were able to get a free afternoon to join us. I know this is probably a pretty busy time getting ready for the old season of selling lobster rolls by the sea. He's had one decent bracket left with Houston winning it all.
Okay. I like the long shot approach.
That ain't bad. Well, I took a bit of a long shot approach, Scott. I took Kentucky and found out in the first game
that was a long shot.
Why they were a long shot. Yeah.
They had what, the third lowest odds to win the tournament of any team?
Longest shot. I mean, you're not going to take the monster long shot in that spot. But, you and I had talked about this Michigan team at least winning a couple of games.
Yeah. The Tennessee matchup, I thought Tennessee would win it because talent-wise, they should have won it.
Well, it's another team we liked. We liked that.
Barnes, once again, found a way to punt away a golden opportunity that I believe they were up, or they up 6 with like 6 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go. I know Michigan closed the game on a massive run, but that Tennessee team was so talented, and Barnes, I tried to give him one last shot to win me over. He's dead to me. Can't do it.
He is once again snatched a defeat from the jaws of victory. Congratulations.
Even in the comment section, if you don't like Rick Barnes, the coach, can you at least concede the point that was probably a top 4 team in the country, talent-wise, on paper?
Yeah. I think that, well, certainly, top 4, maybe a little.
Top 5?
Yeah, okay. I'll probably give you that. Zach Vaughn says he got the Cougs winning it all. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if we judged that Arizona game last night that they probably shouldn't have won.
Yeah, the Cougs got hosed last night because they should be playing TCU.
Yeah, absolutely. 1777 memorabilia. What's up? What's up, brother? Face and Tech or Gonzaga in 2 brackets. Yeah, I don't hate that. 48 basketball games later. Yep. Just bugs me to see Michigan in the Sweet 16 because I don't think they should have made the field.
It's always that way.
I mean, you can't. I agree with that in principle, but if you go out and you make the Sweet 16, then you can make the case they probably belong. But as far as record-wise, was there other teams more deserving? You and I both thought there were. We also thought there was a chance they'd win a couple of games. So there you go. But then again, I guess Howard and crew think they do belong.
I mean, they always have the bias because they're from the Big Ten and they are from a Power 5 school. So, of course, they were going to be put ahead of Dayton and company. I still think A&M should have gotten in over Michigan, but we've seen this movie before. A team barely gets in, arguably shouldn't be in, and they make a dream run.
Yep. Or they play an overtime game in the first round or barely win or something like that. Then all of a sudden they just put their foot on the gas and they fucking make a run. I totally agree. Obviously, you'd have to go with the Midwest being the most surprising bracket at this point with not necessarily at the top with KU and Providence. I get this reoccurring dream, Scott, of Providence just holding the trophy, playing one shining moment, and Ken Palm going, well, fuck, they shouldn't have won it. They're the luckiest team in America. There's no reason.
Well, I feel like Providence beating Kansas would not be as surprising as it might seem. Ken Palm might have a heart attack if Providence beats Kansas, but I can see it.
Has he lost any credibility at all with this Providence team that was a 4 seed and has pretty much done a nice job dominating their first 2 games?
See, I don't know if you can fully say that because who have they beaten? They beat
They
South
beat
Dakota State and they beat Richmond.
they beat who they're supposed to.
Correct, but I'm saying they play 2 double-digit seeds. So you can make a case that even though they're there, they've had an easier path than some other teams. They've still played well. Hell, they killed Richmond. They won that game by like 28 points, but still.
Tim Earl bringing up a great point. We all lose because now we have to hear about Coach K for another week.
Izzo almost made me
God,
a fan if he pulled off the win there. But I'm shocked they're even winning with 5 minutes to go. That Michigan State team wasn't any good.
There's your question, Tim. Do you want to hear about Coach K for another week? Or you want to hear about Izzo being Mr. March, the undeserved title of Coach March?
He's lost before the Sweet 16, and I forgot if it was 4 of the last 5 tournaments or 5 of the last 6 now.
Yep, agreed. Love Ed
Not
Cooley,
good.
class act, and very, very good coach.
Great
Agreed.
coach.
Agreed. Middle Tennessee State. Yep,
I think Providence is alive against Kansas.
Oh, yeah, they are. Absolutely. I had Kansas to dominate their game against Creighton, who was extremely shorthanded, missing their point guard, missing their center, and they, basically played with their food the whole fucking game. They had a 9-point lead once, and just about, Creighton ended up just running out of gas at the end, but gave them KU a lot more of a game than I certainly expected.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tim says 100% Earl Izzo. Fair enough, buddy. We got to have you on the show sometime too. Talk a little basketball, maybe some baseball when that gets rolling. All right, Scott, let's take care of business here at the top, and we'll talk about the weekend. Of course, we want you to like and subscribe here today. Don't forget to do that. We certainly appreciate it. And of course, subscribe to the Winners and Winers YouTube channel, as well as the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel. Check us out on Twitter. You'll see our handles occasionally there underneath. I'm at Steamroller. He is at Reichel Radio. Follow us. And of course, don't forget to check out the great deal we've still got going with our partners over at BetMGM. If you haven't made your first bet yet, you should get your ass over there. What are you waiting for? It's Sweet 16, basically a risk-free proposition up to $1,000 first bet. You win, you win. And if you lose, they make it good. Put $1,000 boop, back in your account. So check that out. BetMGM, of course, it's only available in states where BetMGM is, and you must be 21 to play. And naturally, we want you to check out every show on the network. Scott, I'm going to quiz you. Can you name them all?
Without cheating, no.
At noon, what do we got? Any idea?
We got the Sean show.
It's very good. Midday Money with Sean Higgs. Okay, right after that, at 1 o'clock, it's...
Is that Allie show?
Yep, Morning Wood with Allie Burns, and then, of course, 2 o'clock.
Then we got the Parlay show.
All right, 3 o'clock is the tough one.
Then we got us.
That's us. And then at 5 o'clock?
I take a nap after our show.
Nap time.
I have no idea.
It's Game Time Decision with Detroit.
I know. Is that a Lenny show?
Yep, that's Detroit and Lenny. It's Tim Earl, and it's the other Earl, Nick. Okay. I think it's Nick.
Cool. I know I did not get any of the names for those shows right, but I do recognize the talent on each show.
Okay, very good. And they're all very entertaining. They're all very different shows, so make sure you check that out. It's a lot of fun. Each of those shows. They're not as fun as ours, but what is? You and I are going to have a very special surprise for everybody. We think it's going to be day after tomorrow, so I'm not going to say anymore. Not going to say anymore, but it's going to be fun. By the way, can you see my head on the? Can you see this?
Yeah.
Was bending over to grab something out of my closet. Forgot my light was there, and I got a big light that I use for lighting, and it's got all metal edges. Just creased my head right there. Just boom, rocked me.
It looks like you're going for like that young Frankenstein look.
Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly how I feel. Put that man down. All right, bud. So it was a big weekend. We got a lot to get to. Of course, we got a lot to get to as far as the shows go. So yeah, let's find out. Let's find out what happens, man. Let's live in the past just a little bit here. To quote Jethro Tull, we're going to be living in the past for the next six picks. Scott, it's a big weekend. We hadn't had to sort through this. Let's find out. The worst of the worst. Who took it in the shorts? Who took it to the bank? Who's the winners? Who's the whiners? And who has to pick out their flip phone and call the cops? All right. Very, very good. We're going to get it started in the NCAA. Not the NCAA tournament, but it's the NIT, right?
Yeah, NIT.
There you go. If you had Dayton Vanderbilt under 135, This was a consistent theme this weekend. They landed 126 in regulation. No, not so much. 63-63. You know how it ends from here. Landed 138 after overtime. They didn't put up a ton in overtime, but they put up enough to beat your ass if you had 135 and the under. So sorry, Charlie. You got to call them cops.
And looking at the NBA, if you had the Suns and the Kings under 230, you had 220 in regulation. It's an even number. 110-110. Game landed 251 after
Hoo-ah.
overtime.
Hoo-ah. All right, I'm gonna roll this out for this one because this is gonna be the first one of the season. Congratulations. That's right. It's the second spring training game of the year, and it is our first bad baseball beat. Congratulations. It involved Scott's very own team, the New York Baseball Yankees. You had them on the money line against the Tigers. They led 7-4 in the ninth inning. What the hell? The Yankees bullpen, Scott, not exactly in midseason form, as they puked up 4 runs in the top of the ninth. The Yankees did nothing in the bottom of the ninth. Hello, Tigers. Los Tigres. They win it 8-7. Sorry, Yankees. Not so much. Call the cops.
It's even a worse beat because in spring training, they don't actually do extra innings. So you could have gotten a push,
right?
If they only gave up 3, but they gave up 4 in the ninth. That's rough.
Not ideal. Not good, Bob. Not good at all. But there were some good news. There was some good news out there. Some nice, easy victories. You know who you were. You're watching the game. You're calling your wife in. You're like, look at this shit. You know what side? I got this. I got this right side. Those are the easy ones, and you dream about them. Ones you can just sit back and relax in the rocking chair. That's right.
So, starting off in the NCAA tournament, if you had Miami plus 6.5 against Auburn underachieved. Who would have thought? Miami never trailed in the entire game. They won by 18.
I honestly thought Auburn would go one more game before puking on their shoes. I was surprised they did it in the round of 32. So
bad.
Not good at all. Hey, heading to the NHL, if you had the Rangers Hurricanes under 6, 1 goal in the first 59 minutes. Congratulations. They scored a junk goal at the end. Didn't matter. That made it 2-0. Congratulations. You were sitting in the rocking chair.
And the last one, if you had Abilene Christian, -6 against Troy, led by 21 points at halftime, and it won by 12.
We may have one for tomorrow, too, in this game that just ended with Wilmington and who'd they play?
Drake.
Yeah, the Drake.
I mean, the money line, I don't know what the money line price was. I want to say it was like minus, what was it, 300?
Probably.
2 something. It's not good.
Yeah, not good
not
at all.
Good.
Led by 17 at halftime, didn't win the game.
They blew a 24-point second half lead, I think.
So
25
they
points.
got it up to 24.
Yeah,
dude, I wasn't watching. I was just seeing it come across the ticker. So, all right. Man, this was a tough one, Scott. We haven't done this in a while. Let's do it while we're here. Let's find out who's wearing the golden feed bag, as it were. Who is the weekend donkey of the day?
By the way, are we focusing on one game, or are we turning this into an open dialogue about all the different instances?
Yeah, see, I think that's probably a better angle because you and I were talking about before we came on the air about the terrible non-call in the TCU game.
I don't know how you don't make that call.
Ugh.
The guy falls on the floor. The ball's loose. There's 2 seconds left. How do you not call a foul there?
Yeah, he's on the floor. They knock him across the half-court line. Come on.
And you can't even say, it'll give the game away. It did give the game away. Arizona had a wide-open layup at the other end. They just chose to take a dunk.
No, I mean, see, you roasted him on Twitter. That's a bad roast.
I get it. There's a lot going on. He didn't have, it's a tough play. I get it.
Don't shoot a layup going straight on.
I get it. Whatever. The point is, okay, just in general, you can't make a case saying the referees would have decided the entire game because of that call.
And it was
when
a game
they decided the entire
tight.
game.
They weren't letting them play the whole game. They called it tight the whole game. A bunch of guys had already fouled out.
I'm saying either way. The point is that the referees decided the game, whether they called it or not. It just so happened that Arizona didn't get the shot off when they got a free shot at the other end.
But as we've said many times, overtime, not the friend of the underdog better. But the one that was maybe even more egregious than that was calling the foul on RJ Melendez of Illinois for hanging on the rim, which is
That was the original one we had for dunking.
right. Right. That was the original. That was it's always a complete judgment call. You're supposed to be able to hang on the rim if you're in danger, if you can't come down in a safe space. Scott, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Well, he got a steal. He went for a dunk, and he clearly tried to swing so he wouldn't land on his head. And he came off the rim. Normal swinging, wasn't a pull up or anything like that. They called the tech. And even though Houston ended up winning the game handily, the truth is, once the tech happened, Illinois kind of fell apart.
Here's my problem with this. You've got a bunch of guys that are like 5'8", 55 years old. They never touched the rim in their life. They have no concept of what that's like to be up there. I don't know how you could make that call. I just don't. Well, in my opinion, he should have swung. You don't have a fucking opinion. You have no idea what it's like. The only way you've ever touched the rim is if there was a ladder. You know, it's the same way with me. I'm not roasting. You know, it's not like I'm doing it. It's the same way with me making that call. Are you making that call?
It's common sense. If you're
touch
going,
the rim? Can you touch it?
No, I can't. I can't. No,
I never could. I could fucking touch.
But in general, on principle, if a guy's going to be jumping in for a dunk, and if he lets go of the rim in midair, he's going to fall on his head, or you tell the guy to swing for half a second so he can safely land. It wasn't a taunt or anything. I feel like the rule's in place to avoid taunting. He was just trying not to get killed.
Yep, I agree.
Not to mention the Manic flagrant in that North Carolina game with all the fouls that almost swung that one entirely.
See, and I wrote this in our group text. Do you think Manic's reputation cost him there? You think if it's Joe Schmo, average player, he gets that same treatment that Manic does? Because Manic's been a douchebag for 5 years.
It was interesting because I asked my dad what he thought because he's a Carolina fan.
Right.
He actually defended the ejection. He thought that Manic's elbow came up when it didn't need to. I thought it was a flagrant 1. I thought flagrant 2 was way too excessive. I don't think he should have been thrown out of the game, in my opinion. Well,
I think you make the argument if it's a flagrant elbow, it's almost got to be a 2.
I get it. I just think looking at it, I didn't think he should have been ejected, but I think you could give 2 free throws for that.
All right, fair enough. You know what? Let's talk about this because it involves a team that's near to your heart. Luckily, I root for teams that are so shitty they didn't make any tournaments, which I think is the first time in years that nobody's made anything. But your team did, Scott, and they didn't exactly acquit themselves well. Let's find out who it was. And I know you watch this team a lot, so you're probably being mad, but you're definitely not past being disappointed. Okay, stop. There you go. I was going to give you the double, but all right. So put on your striped overalls, Scott, and give us the take on this one. What's wrong?
So there were a couple of teams we could have picked. Hell, if we were doing the entire weekend, we could have picked Loyola against Ohio State. But either way, it's going to be Wisconsin because as a 3 seed, I wasn't the biggest fan of this team. That's not a surprise. I know you weren't either because the issue with this team, they can't really score. And as a 3 seed against a double-digit seed in the NCAA tournament game in Milwaukee, by the way, so basically in Wisconsin's backyard, they scored 49 points. Now, they only lost by 5, so the defense hung in there. But 49 points basically in your own backyard, that's rough.
That is absolutely unacceptable. You shouldn't expect to win when you score 49, and they didn't. So
they went 1 for 17 from 3. 1 for 17. Stop shooting threes.
First rule of digging holes, Scott. First rule of getting out of the hole. What is it?
Stop digging.
Stop digging. That's right. Scott Nowak, by the way, who has been hotter than a shite lately, said he had Carolina and Arizona on a teaser, hit the Arizona game by half a point. Well done, sir. By the way, Scott, I know I talked about it on my video. Everybody's heart goes out to you and your family there. Scott lost his mom here recently. So, yeah, It sucks. I went through it a couple years ago with my dad, and I know it's a tough time, buddy. So, yeah. So anyway, stay hot. Keep winning games. And the capping has been fantastic. I know he's on a hell of a run, so keep that up. Memorabilia says Big 12 and ACC kind of day. I really thought the Big 12 was going to make a real statement there with TCU, a team that K-State beat. Scott, how about that?
Yeah,
could have done that. Could have done that K-State national championship thing, but nope, not so much. But yeah, that was a team that has the capability of playing well. A lot of teams in the Big 12 have that capability of stepping up any night and being a very good basketball team. And we saw it yesterday with TCU in a game they probably deserved to win. So, yeah, dude, it is kind of a family here, man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We were, did I tell you somebody roasted you in my comment section yesterday? Says, since you and I hooked up, which I didn't like that terminology to start with, because not only have we never hooked up, we've never actually met face to face, but
yep.
You never know. A couple drinks in Vegas, things happen. But anyway, they said you were hitting like 20% of your plays since you and I hooked up.
I'm trying to think of the sample size on that. That's like what, 700 something plays?
Yeah, yeah. Because we've been doing this just about 2 years. We started about 2 months into the pandemic, so we're coming in on doing this 2 years. We've been doing this show for over a year now. So probably most of the time he's been following you. You and I were doing this show together. And I don't think you could pick a 2-week sample size that you hit 20%.
Yeah, you can. I'd say probably my last 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks? Okay, so
yeah, it has not been good for the last month.
All right.
I'm not going to like hide from it. I mean, all my picks are transparent. They're all free. And it hasn't been a good couple weeks, but we had a win yesterday. So that counts for something.
Yeah, it happens. You're going to run cold. If you do this, if you bet on sports, you run hot, you run cold.
That's the thing, though. That's also just like the free picks, whatever. We still do the farm play together.
Right.
But the craziest part was that even last week, I know Lawrence gave me a shout out for it before in the comment section. Thank you. I said I liked Burns to win the golf tournament at 25-1. And he won the golf tournament at 25-1. So even when it's like you can count all of the like leans and whatever, like I haven't been that cold with regard to everything. I somehow had a golf outright winner. You know how hard that is to do?
Well, I think what we've learned is you're spending way too much time handicapping.
That's pretty much it. Somebody asked me, like, it was Lawrence on Wednesday, what do you like for golf? I'm like, yeah, I like Morikawa, Burns, and Answer. And Burns somehow not only won the whole tournament, he was also tied for first round leader. So he cashed everything.
Yeah.
he cashed literally everything for the entire tournament.
Scott, I'm not going to read them all, but you're getting much love in the comments section. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
As well, you should.
I don't let the roasting get to me because, to be honest, I have been pretty bad recently, and I accept the reality of it.
I wanted to tell him to put his comment on your video, knowing that you never read them.
It's really fair. I really don't read the comments that much.
For all I know, he could have put it there. I don't know. He might have been putting it there for a week.
I'm trying to think of all the people that put comments like criticizing my performance lately. They put all the effort in. They're thinking of how to phrase it, and I don't even know the comments exist. Like I'm thinking of all those people.
They maybe they've been holding off. Like, okay, I'm finally. This is the day. If he
this is the day. I can't handle it anymore.
I'm calling the fucking manager. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, whatever. It's fine. If you don't like the picks, then just don't back my picks.
Right.
This isn't rocket science. It's all
like I tell them when they start bitching. I give out winners every day. If you don't know which side to play, that's on you.
That's what I'm saying. I win 100% of the time. You just got to know when the back man when to fade me.
Yep, absolutely.
That's how it goes.
So, all right, buddy. Let's talk about this. Thanks, Jim. We appreciate it, man. We have a lot of fun. We try to give out some good info. And try to talk to you guys. You guys always have great info to share, some angles that we haven't seen. So it's really all about you guys as well. This isn't us show. So anyway, Scott, not a big card tonight. We did have one game today as the Drake and Wilmington got together. Like we said, Wilmington, big comeback there from 17 down at halftime. This UNC Asheville team going up against Northern Colorado. Northern Colorado, a team that likes to score just about as much as they like to let other people score.
I know who we're rooting for in this game.
Who's that, buddy?
We're both rooting for Northern Colorado. I mean, they're just the entertaining team that doesn't guard anybody and they score a bunch of points. Why would I not root for them?
Absolutely. You're just going to blindly play the over there? You got 154?
There has been under money I believe it opened up at around 155.5.
Right.
Asheville burned me in that conference tournament game against Charleston Southern because their best player got fouled out on a technical foul, which was just ridiculous. But they've been pretty good this year. Northern Colorado on the road, not good straight up, but they are 10-6-1 ATS. It's in a neutral, but the point is they have been pretty good in opposing environments where Asheville really has not. For me, it really seems like a coin flip game that starts in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm actually going to look at the first half under because I do find it interesting with Northern Colorado. There has been about a 2-point line move towards the under. It seems a bit sharp for me. I'm going to look at the under. You?
All right. I'm wading into it right now, buddy.
Just saying, you don't think that looks a little bit sharp?
I don't care for it, but it doesn't stop me from thinking I know more than they do.
That's why I'm looking at the first half under instead of the full game, because I think you might see a bit of a slow start, and then it might explode in the second half.
All right, fair enough. I just got down over 155. Okay, I'm taking it.
Cool.
What else going on today? As Stephen F. Austin burned my North Carolina parlay. Where did I just see that? Oh, there it is.
I think I have to like Middle Tennessee State, right?
You have to. They're still the best team against the number in the nation, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Middle Tennessee, of course, lost the heartbreaker in the conference tournament to UAB in that triple overtime fiasco, but Middle Tennessee State was the 1 seed, I believe, in that tournament. So they were actually pretty solid throughout the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Boston was good in their conference. Of course, Colgate runs the Patriots, so they had to settle for a minor tournament, but Middle Tennessee's been the better team, and I do believe in a neutral, I'll take the better team that I've seen cover a bunch of spreads the entire year. I'll take Middle Tennessee State.
Yep, I agree, Nathan. By the way, Nathan, thanks for the kind words. We appreciate it, and everybody that sent out shouts to us there. It's it's you get hot, you get cold. I get up, I get down, but no one gets me. I can't remember.
Chumbawamba?
Yeah, no, not that one. There's another one, but yeah. Chumbawamba's a little tub thumping there. What else we got? We got Coastal FGCU. Coastal laying 3.5. I haven't.
Actually, I like the over in that game.
145.5.
Well, we saw Gulf Coast first game of the tournament was a track meet. It seems like since they fired the coach, they've kind of just been going balls to the wall offense. I'm going to go with the over there.
Playing a little street ball.
There has been a little bit of over money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But 145, looking at Gulf Coast games, I mean, they played Detroit Mercy literally first game after the coach got fired. Game landed 174. It seems like they're going a bit more up-tempo. I'm going to go with the over.
Fair enough. A couple comments here. James says, I don't want to hear anybody bitch about free plays. I would drive from Phoenix to Laughlin to put in plays. Yeah, when I first started years back on Winners and Winers. Yeah, there you go. Appreciate it. What just happened? My spring break is coming to an end. I'm literally going to bet the farm on y'all tonight. We got one we like quite a bit. You know, sometimes we struggle. Sometimes we definitely have higher confidence levels of some farms than we do of others. Scott, would it be fair to say we are fairly confident in this farm tonight?
Yeah, we definitely like it.
Y'all should have a tip jar. Maybe someday. I don't know. We are compensated fairly for what we do. I don't have a beef with that. So it'd be cool, but then people start tipping, and then they start getting more angry if you don't win. So we like doing just what we do here for now. There you go. And I know Scott says if you ever want to hit him up on Twitter,
yeah, just hit me up on Twitter. We could work something
for yourself,
out.
Old man.
Just saying, whatever.
Scott's like, we're looking to fucking move out of my parents' house.
Well, I am moving in about a month.
I know, that's pretty exciting. I want to bet NCAA women's basketball. Nathan says, snap me out of it. Scott,
I've been betting it for the last 2 days. So
his favorite play of the weekend. Tell him what it was, Scott. Was it UConn laying the number?
Yeah, I had UConn, which I posted in. I believe it was our chat with Chris King, right?
Yeah.
I said I liked UConn minus 28.5 against Mercer.
Yep.
And they won by 48.
There you go. Go. Women's basketball. So I'll just tell you not to make bad bets, Nathan. Just make good ones.
I'm probably going to bet on UConn again tonight. They're favored by about 17.5 against Central Florida. I don't really care. The game's in Connecticut. Beckers is back, so UConn's at full strength. They should basically just bury Central Florida based on how they've been playing recently.
Right.
I mean, you look at the actual scores for UConn's recent games. They basically killed everybody for a month straight by 30 points. They should win this game by 20, in my opinion. And no, what just happened? I don't literally live in the basement. No.
You live upstairs. You got upstairs at both of them, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So you're going to move into Brooklyn?
Yes.
Queens. Brooklyn?
Yeah.
No sleep till Brooklyn, man. That'll be fun. You're going to live with a guy. What's he do? What's his deal?
So he works in, I'm trying to think of the exact, like an appliance store, a family-run business, whatever, but we go way back, went to the same elementary school, middle school, whatever. So there you go.
Scott, give us an idea. I don't want to put you on the spot, but give us an idea what rent runs in Brooklyn. Not necessarily for your place, but for anybody that's thinking about moving to the city.
Are you including utilities or not including utilities?
Yeah, out the door for living in a month.
Including everything, it should be roughly $1,200 a month.
Oh, okay. So it's
correct.
Like
it's very manageable. That's why I'm doing
place. Okay. All right. Very good. Scott says Brooklyn, brave.
I mean, I had the choice. I could either live in Brooklyn, which was like $1,200-$1,300 a month, or I go to, or at least for this deal, or I go to the city and I pay like $2,200 to live in a cardboard box. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I could have moved out of the state, but now I got legal sports betting, so why would I want to move? I got everything I want.
And you're talking about, of course, about living in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, correct. The Manhattan prices are just completely insane.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Nathan said I wanted to play Stanford plus in Baylor women's parlay. Stayed off it. Would have hit. Yeah, man. There's no shame in betting anything.
I think you mean the first round because Baylor lost.
Baylor lost the second game. Yeah. But don't leave home without packing. How often do you think you'll be back home? That's my question.
I'm going to see them a decent amount, whether or not they visit me or I go over there, but probably, I don't know, maybe a couple times a month.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
I mean, realistically, I'm like 30, maybe 40 minutes driving. It's not like I'm going to a different state. It's really not that big of a deal.
Are either one of them the drop-in kind of parents where they're just like, fucking, hey, I'm in the city, I'm going to drop in?
Well, I have to buzz them in, so they kind of have to give me a heads up. So
yeah, but I mean, are they going to let you know before they're standing on the sidewalk?
Probably. Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. My in-laws were always drop-in parents. They would like just stop by, and they're 30 minutes from our house, and they would just kind of show up. And I always thought that was weird. But a couple times, just about burned them. Just saying. Seattle's ridiculous. Yeah, Seattle, Portland, all that shit in the Northwest. Yes, absolutely, man. Anywhere there's ocean, really, the whole entire West Coast is just fucking ridiculous. Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, LA,
California.
Yeah, most of it. I mean,
taxes over in California.
I mean, you can go inland. You can go Sacramento, and it's reasonable.
Well, when it comes to like cheapest areas, I believe Texas has one of like the cheapest living situations because, of course, you have the no income tax.
Right. So, I don't think they have income tax in Florida either. I think
they don't.
Refuse to pay ridiculous prices just to live. I don't blame you, dude. I did too, but as you get older, I guarantee you my next move is going to be somewhere on the beach. That's, it's and you got to pay for it. You want to see the beach. You want to be in the ocean. You want to be in a big city.
Mm-hmm.
There's a price to it. And
it's not even my old move. It might just be my next move. Like I'm moving there for probably a year, but I can see myself in Vegas or Florida. But of course, I'm kind of waiting for sports betting to be more frequent in Florida, and then maybe I'll reconsider. But as we know, as a sports gambler for a living, New York kind of right now checks all the boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got no reason to go anywhere.
Yeah, very good. Somebody want to know if you're back on the Michigan train, if either one of us are back on the Michigan train. Again, we thought this was a team that had a real good chance of winning a couple of games in the tournament once they made it, just because they were going to have that gigantic chip on their shoulder.
I mean, we mentioned before the tournament a couple of long shots that we were considering, at least for value. I know you mentioned Arkansas. They're still alive. They're in the Sweet 16. I mentioned Michigan at like 140-1 on the sole premise of they were a preseason top 10 team, so maybe they can figure something out. And shockingly, they've played like a preseason top 10 team. Are they going to win the championship? Of course not. But if you're looking at either comparing preseason odds to now or looking at the roster makeup, Michigan has a talented team. They just underperform for the majority of the season. So if you can find stuff that clicks, the talent's definitely there.
James Mount says Costa Rica. We've looked at Costa Rica, dude. The only thing I've got to find an area where the internet and the power are stable 24 hours a day, and that's not so easy to find anywhere in Central America. I've looked at Panama, looked at Central America. I looked at Portugal. I really like a lot of the parts of Portugal. I would do that. So per 60 Minutes last night, Missouri's the cheapest to live in. I don't doubt that. Yeah, I don't. My rent's 1,200, less than 1,200 all in, and I've got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, nice area, and all that. So, so as far as Michigan goes, Scott, you take them +5 against Nova?
I am. Nova's the team that I wasn't exactly high on going into the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I surprised they beat Delaware and Ohio State? No. I mean, Ohio State hung around. That didn't surprise me. Villanova blew it open late. Michigan is a team that, even though regular season-wise they weren't amazing, they are good in a variety of areas. Outside shooting is still a little bit of, let's just say, a gray area, but Dickinson's a matchup problem. So Michigan should do well in the glass. The guards are pretty good, and they're very selfless with the ball. And Villanova is a team that shoots a lot of threes, but I do believe that Michigan can do a pretty good job defensively of contesting three-pointers. But Dickinson's going to be the story of the game for me. And I do believe that Michigan has a recipe in place to potentially hang around against Nova. Am I picking them to win? No. But I do see a close game throughout. I don't think Villanova is going to run them over.
I agree. By the way, James Mount, you're talking about Roatan, the island off of Honduras, which I've been to. It's cool. It's we were at the resort, so I don't know what the situation would be for having Wi-Fi and good internet all the time. I don't know. I also don't love being that close to Honduras because that's a place where they tend to want to change governments every once in a while, and that doesn't necessarily go well.
See, Nathan, you're mentioning a stat that Michigan's 0-14 against Villanova. They're not conference rivals, so they barely play against each other besides like some random tournaments. I know they played in the NCAA championship game a couple of years ago. Does that really mean anything to you? Because like they're not in the same conference. They never. Why would they play each other like on a regular basis?
It would mean a little bit if it was coach versus coach.
I know, but Howard's relatively new.
It would mean more if it was recent coach versus coach and some of the same players versus players. Other than that, no.
Yeah, like if Beeline was still coach, then maybe I'd buy into it. But it's Juwan Howard. Like he wasn't there for any of those 14.
1777 memorabilia brings up something, and we talked about this: the ability to hedge after 2 games when you have the Michigan ticket. And at 121 Michigan, this is when you hedge. Absolutely correct, because we talked about the price being friendly enough that you could hedge and get away with it. You agree with that, Scott? Is it time?
I'm trying to think of the region because they'd probably have to play Arizona next game. I mean, Houston potentially, but you're assuming higher seed advances throughout just for the toughest quote-unquote path for Michigan. What do you think they are going to be getting against an Arizona team? Like 6?
And again, it depends on what they do with Villanova, but let's just say they get past them by 2 or 3. Arizona has a solid game against Houston and wins. I think you're going to be right in the 7 to 7.5 range. I think you're going to be a little stronger price than Villanova would be. What just happened? Talked about Columbia. Yep, I don't hate it. I don't hate Columbia. Medellin's super nice. Bogota is as well. There's always bad places, but there are bad places in every town in every country. So
I saw JC asking before if Houston was underseeded or if they should have been a 2 or a 3. They were definitely underseeded. 2 or 3, I don't know. Because you look at the conference and how light it relatively was. I mean, they lost to Memphis 2 out of 3. They won the conference tournament, but
how much
they didn't really play anybody the whole regular season.
How much do you believe in Ken Palm, buddy? Because Ken Palm has them the second best team in the nation and one of just 2 teams that are top 10 in offense and defense.
That's what I'm saying. When you're talking about the committee's ranking of quad 1 and quad 2 and all these other whatever, right. I'm not surprised Houston was a 5 because they really didn't beat anybody. But if you're looking at the metrics and everything like that, they should have been a 2 or a 3. I don't care more about the metrics than I do about the quad 1, quad 2 nonsense.
I don't know how you make a team that's 31-5 a 5 seed. Sorry.
5's crazy. I think 4 should have been the floor. I think realistically, I think 3 would have been the ceiling.
Okay.
I don't think they would have given Houston a 2 no matter what.
Scott No X says, I think Houston's going to surprise some people. They're not going to surprise us.
They're not surprising anybody. I had them in my Final Four last year. I really like this team.
Yeah, that's a good quality. I mean, you're right, Scott. They are going to surprise a lot of people. I'm not sure they're going to surprise a lot of people on here because we've been extolling the virtues of this Houston.
I think a lot of people are going to like Houston against Arizona.
I do. I absolutely do. That Arizona team that we saw the other night, absolutely. And that, that game's 2. Give me Houston on the money line. I'll take it.
I think I actually like Arizona in that game, but a lot of people are picking Houston solely because of how close the game was against TCU that Arizona should have lost. I understand why Houston was favored by 4 against Illinois, and a lot of people were going crazy over it. Like, how could they do this? It's because Illinois is not very good. Like, it wasn't that complicated. Arizona, I do think, is a better team than Houston without Sasser and company. If Houston was fully healthy, I would have picked them to win the title.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I think Arizona's the better team right now.
Roland G addressing the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about yet. It's Uncle Rico and the rest of the Peacocks squad. Scott is St. Peter's. He wants to know if they're going to surprise anybody. Well,
I think they're going to get out rebounded by 20, and they're going to give up about 40 free throws.
And they've already surprised twice. Now they have a little taller task, my friend.
I mean, Painter's not any good, so if there's one coach that would punt this, it would either be him or Bill Self. But I got to assume Purdue advances. I mean, they're favored by 12.5. Might seem like a lot. Is it? They really should get about 1 offensive rebound per possession.
I'm taking the 12.5. I don't care.
I would probably take the 12.5 too. Maybe first half if you think Purdue plays with its food a little bit.
Yep.
But Edey and Williams and even Ivy on the perimeter, like it's rough. But they beat Kentucky. Maybe they can find a way.
Well, they beat the best. You talk about the big men. Well, I don't think they're going to be afraid of any big men, Scott. After beating Sheboy.
Well, they did beat Kentucky. Shigwe did have like 30 and 15, but I'm saying so they still dominated on the glass. The issue was Kentucky's guards were terrible. They need Ivy to play well. I'd probably wait. I really don't see much St. Peter's money coming in initially because I feel like the sharps will be on Purdue just based on the size and everything like that, the free throw disparity, the foul trouble. You might want to take St. Peter's late, but I'm not picking them to win the game. They can maybe hang around for a half.
It's the third 15 seed to advance to the Sweet 16, right?
And the other 2 lost. Or Roberts almost beat Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
They were very close. Gulf Coast got killed by Florida.
Yeah, they were not competitive there. And that was a key for them there.
Yeah.
I was looking for something else there. Painter cost him a few points. Yep. Seems strange.
I think he will. I mean, to be honest, they beat Texas by what they win by 10 in that game? 8? I forgot what the exact margin was in the end.
That sounds right in that neighborhood.
They should have won that game by like 20. They attempted 40 plus free throws. They were in the bonus plus for the final 11 minutes of the game. The fact that Texas was even hanging around with 5 minutes was embarrassing because Purdue was in the bonus basically 8 minutes into both halves. Purdue should have won that game by 15.
Well, TCU is another team that if they'd have been able to shoot free throws, would have advanced. That was
pretty much.
That was brutal to watch, especially the one dude that did everything else, but was 4 for 10 from the line, and that really hurt him. Northern Colorado start out bad.
That's all about the point total, though.
I haven't even turned it on yet, but
they're down 16-5.
Got Houston plus 1,000. That's about the right price. I'm okay with that. Anybody else got anything? Anything you like in the NBA tonight? I mean, we're going to do one here in a minute, but anything else grab you?
Well, I did a full NBA podcast show, so I went through every game. I got a play today on player prop in the Lakers and Cavs game, which I like, so hopefully that works out.
Was it LeBron over rebounds?
Good guess. No, I got Garland over 9.5 assists.
Okay. All right. Very good.
So I got that. I'm looking at the Utah and Brooklyn game too.
Agreed, Brandon. I don't know if it's a record or not, but the discrepancy of free throws was ridiculous.
It was crazy.
Yep.
I'm looking at Gobert over 13.5 rebounds. It's a lot of rebounds, but you're looking at the matchup. The Nets use Drummond and Claxton as their centers, and both of them have no offensive talent. Gobert should be able to sit underneath the basket the entire game and just cherry pick rebounds for basically 30 plus minutes. The spread's about 1.5, so you're expecting a close game. If Gobert plays 30 minutes, he should get to a minimum of 15 rebounds. Minimum.
Duke, Texas Tech. Somebody asking about that.
I'm happy the odds makers made Texas Tech a favorite because I thought they should have been. They did not look good against Notre Dame. They won anyway. I live bet the game and worked out. Duke beat Michigan State. I don't think Michigan State's very good, but they have offensive talent. For me, I'm going to go with Tech because going into the tournament, I just penciled Tech in ahead of Duke, and I'm not going to change it now.
Right. Yep. I'm kind of the same way. This is
I think Tech's just more physical. I think they're going to make the game extremely uncomfortable for Duke.
Yep. Somebody would ask. Oh, Damien, follow Scott on Twitter.
I can tell you that on Twitter, but it's a different company, so I'm not going to say it on here.
Yep, absolutely. Chris, shouting out for Scott. So yeah, very good. Thanks, man. Michigan State just beat the 10th best scoring team. Yeah, true.
It beat Davidson, but I mean, if you watched them during the season, did you think that Michigan State was a good team?
No, I did
not.
No. But,
so
strange things
it's going to be a
happen.
hell of a game just based on styles because we know Duke plays up tempo. We know Tech likes to make it a grind fest. I'm assuming Tech's going to win the pace battle. I just feel like when push comes to shove, Banchero will try to ball hog the game late, and I don't exactly like his matchups against Texas Tech.
Yep, I agreed. All right, my friend, let's get to it. We took it bad Friday. What did we end up last week? 2-3, 3-2.
I think we had a winning week, but the Raptors ended up burning us.
Yeah, in a game that they should have been able to take care of business easily. And you shot me a screenshot of something, Scott. It was the first halftime lead the Lakers had in how many games? Or how many?
I believe it was 13 games.
It's ridiculous. First time the Lakers have been up. Of course, they went on to win the game. So,
well, I've mentioned fading the Lakers first quarter, first half. I mean, they've been getting buried out of the gate for most of these games.
Right. Yep. Absolutely true. All right. Well, it's time to start a new streak, buddy. Let's see if we can get her going here. And we've got another play that we've got lined up for you. We're big fans of this. Once again, everybody, thanks for listening. Don't forget to check out everybody else here on the Max Wagers Network. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the likes and all the subscribes, all that good stuff. You guys, you're one of a kind, man. It's a lot of fun. I feel like even though I don't know any of you guys in real life, I feel like we've actually made some friends here. And, so I know our friendship is only as good as our winning streak. So let's see if we can keep winning. I can't take any more Reichel roast in my comment section. So let's keep it going on the farm, buddy. What do we didn't do well, but it's time once again. It's Monday. It's time to put on your clean overalls. I'm sure you did laundry over the weekend. Put on those clean overalls. I'll put just one strap up. It's okay, man. We ain't going nowhere. Let's climb aboard our John Deere, adjust that straw hat, pull out our lucky keys, and fire that bad boy up. Because, kids, it's Monday. It's time to bet the farm. Thank you, Cash Cow. Scott, what do we got hooked up for today?
So we're going to go to the NBA. We're going to take the Miami Heat -4 on the road against the Philadelphia 76ers. You might be wondering, why would you fade Embiid and Harden at home? And the answer is, we're not, because Embiid's not playing. He has a back issue. We know that he's the favorite to win the MVP in the betting markets, averaging roughly 30 points per game and roughly 12 rebounds per game. The backup center,
one of your favorites,
the 76ers, DeAndre Jordan,
no relation.
Who might be the worst player in the league. He's one of the worst centers in the league. That's one of the problems when you trade Andre Drummond to the Nets, is that when Embiid's injured, you don't have much big men depth.
Well, so luckily he's not injured much.
DeAndre Jordan, his final play with the Lakers, chucking the ball 30 yards out of bounds, has to now guard Bam Adebayo. Not exactly a good matchup there. And looking at some trends, the Heat have been really good on the road. The Heat are 7-0-1 ATS in their last 8 road games, and the Sixers are 2-6-1 ATS in the last 9 meetings. But Harden has been a little bit banged up recently. He has not been shooting the ball well. They lost yesterday to Toronto. We think that Miami comes out here, punches them in the mouth, and with no Embiid and with an injured Harden, we think the Sixers really struggle. Give us the Heat -4.
There you go. That's it. That's the Monday edition of Bet the Farm, and that is the Monday edition of Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. As always, we appreciate everybody listening and tuning in, telling your friends, sharing it on social media. all that stuff. And yeah, that's what makes us that's what makes this job so fun. So we appreciate it from everybody. Thanks for stopping by. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow to do it one more time. Every single day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Scott and I do our very best to help you guys in that endless quest to head back to the window. We'll see you.